You are not lazy. You are running the wrong ritual. Hyperproductivity looks like devotion. It smells like duty. It wins short applause. But underneath, it is a ceremony that consumes the priest. Joseph Campbell would say the shape is wrong. You are looping inside the ordinary world, mistaking exertion for initiation, and calling exhaustion a return. There is a door in front of you. The rite begins when you stop performing for the whole way and step through. Let's name the thing. Hyperproductivity is not simply working hard. It is structuring your life so that motion equals worth. If there is a free minute, it must be filled. If there is silence, it must be monetized. If there is a boundary, it must be negotiated into later. Your calendar becomes a stadium scoreboard. Your nervous system becomes the crowd. Your identity becomes the jersey. It works until it breaks the person wearing it. Campbell's map helps because it does not flatter our hurry. The hero's journey is not a faster treadmill. It is a different terrain. Departure, initiation, return. You depart from an identity that no longer fits. You're initiated by trials that reorganize you. You return with something that helps, not something that merely proves. Hyperproductivity keeps you in Act 1, sprinting in circles while the audience mistakes dust for progress. Here is the truth you already feel in your bones. You can no longer budget attention like a billionaire. You have to count it like breath. When attention becomes breath, priorities change. You stop asking, how much can I do? You start asking, what deserves oxygen? The call to adventure arrives like friction. The tasks are getting done, but meaning is thinning. Approval lands, but it does not stick. You are praised for speed and punished later for the errors speed invited. You hear a quiet message under the metrics. The work wants something truer than your pace. The message repeats until you cannot ignore it. That impatience with your own performance is not self-loathing, it is the call. Then come the threshold guardians. They are practical. A manager who confuses presence with productivity, an algorithm that pays you in intermittent treats, a culture that treats rest like theft, a voice in you that mistakes boundaries for betrayal. Guardians are not villains, they are fees. The question is not whether they exist. The question is what you are willing to pay to cross. The refusal appears as negotiation. After this launch, I'll slow down. Once the team grows, I'll rest. When the platform stabilizes, I'll stop performing my life. You know how this goes. The mirage moves, the desert stays. You do not need more promises to the future. You need a rite that changes what today feels like.
A rite is a shaped passage, not a spectacle. You separate from what no longer holds. You do the liminal work inside enclosure. You return with an elixir that serves you and your circle. If you have been running the wrong ritual, metrics as altar, speed as prayer, your rite will look like blasphemy to that church. Good, cross anyway. Before the rite, scan your ordinary world with ruthless kindness. Where does hyperproductivity wear a mask? In meetings that exist because they are easy to schedule, in dings that hijack your chemistry, in goals that are not yours, in the performance of availability. Write 3 lists on a single page. Keep practices that produce depth, dignity, and durable outcomes. Kill motion with no meaning, applause that steals tomorrow's clarity. Convert tasks that must be done, but can be batched, bounded, or delegated. Do not over-engineer it. The paper is a mirror, not a manifesto. You are preparing for separation. Now, the rite. 3 movements, 3 days, simple on purpose. Separation. Day 0. 1 hour to prepare. Name the identity that is ending. 1 sentence, not poetry. I am ending the role of always-on performer. Place a symbol between chapters. A smooth stone, a brass compass, an index card. Give it a job to remind your hands of your decision when your mind forgets. Choose a physical threshold you will cross tomorrow at dawn. A doorway, a bridge, a tree at the end of your street. Set your phone to sleep somewhere that is not your hand. Liminality. Days 1 through 3, inside the belly of the whale. You are not hiding, you are reorganizing. The belly of the whale is not isolation, it is structure without theater.
Morning, 45 to 60 minutes before screens. Sit in 10 minutes of silence. No app. Count 10 slow breaths. Write 1 page by hand, not performance. Inventory, 3 columns. Body, mind, work. What needs oxygen today? Speak your 3 lines out loud. What I serve, how I protect it, where I refuse. Midday, 90 minutes, single task lab. Choose 1 consequential task. Shut every notification. Close every door you can. Put a visible timer. Rule, no switching. Switching costs you clarity. When you want to switch, breathe and return. End with a concise log. What advanced, what blocked, 1 sentence to tomorrow you. Evening, 60 to 90 minutes. Make a slow meal or a slow walk. Phones away. 1 honest conversation or a letter you will never send. 5 minutes to set tomorrow's boundary windows, when you are reachable and when you are not. Across these 3 days, practice 3 no's. No to urgency theater. I can start now, I cannot finish today. No to scope creep. That belongs to next week. I'll note it. No to false emergencies. If this is truly urgent, call me twice. Everything else waits for your next reachable window. Expect resistance. Hyperproductivity will whisper, "This is indulgent." Another voice will hiss, "You're falling behind." Treat them as weather on the hull. Note the wind. Keep your heading. You are building the muscles that hyperproductivity atrophies. Focus, pacing, refusal without guilt. Mentorship belongs in the belly. Find a guide who will not turn your right into their brand. If none is available, borrow a book that rewards slowness. Tape 1 sentence where you work. Attention is love with a schedule. Place your symbol where your hand touches it when the old ritual calls. Your hand will remember before your head does.
Trials will visit you. Boredom, unmasked, will call itself failure. Anxiety, deprived of noise, will ask for proof that you deserve rest. Give neither the microphone. Do the next breath. Keep the vow you can keep. This is how initiation looks in 2025. Ordinary motions done with holy stubbornness. Apotheosis here is clarity, not a costume change. You discover that you do not need to speed to care. You do not need to be loud to be heard by the room that matters. Your elixir emerges without fireworks. Presence that stays, boundaries that bless, craft that survives the week. Return, day 4 and onward. Edges, not the center. You do not re-enter the stadium with a victory lap. You return at the edges, where conversations and craft still work. Write your 3 lines again. Cleaner. What I serve. I serve depth over drama in this role. How I protect it. 2 90-minute labs, reachable windows, honest estimate. Where I refuse. No to scope creep in live meetings. No to urgent without evidence. No to always on. Translate them into rules the world can feel. Appearance, where you show up, small rooms, exact platforms, for how long, with what intention. Availability, 2 windows a day to be reachable. Outside them, you are either working or living. Accountability, weekly 1-pager to your team or clients. What moved, what didn't, what's next. Quiet, precise, reliable. Now apply the rite to 3 common zones. Work. You will be tempted to fill every gap again. Do not. Guard your labs. They are the engine. Replace status theater with status clarity. 1 document, 1 cadence. Ask for fewer meetings with better preparation. Trade speed for trust on purpose. A week of honest estimates is worth a month of heroic rescue. Social. Reduce broadcast into offering. 1 post a week you would keep even if no one saw it. Then leave. Strictly no doom swimming between tasks. If you use social for discovery, Schedule it like a meeting with a door that closes. Love. Tell the people you live with that you are crossing a threshold. Ask for a witness, not a warden. Create one weekly ritual that proves you are returning. A walk, a meal, a project you make together. Quiet is not absence when it is followed by presence. What breaks hyperproductivity is not a perfect system. It is a person who refuses to pay for belonging with their nervous system. You will be misread. People who are addicted to your speed will call your pace a problem. People who benefited from your availability will call your boundaries unkind. Let them adjust. Your steadiness will teach faster than your defense. You will have relapses. The map assumes it. Campbell's journey is a spiral, not a line. You will depart again. You will be initiated again. You will return again. Each time, the rite can be shorter and cleaner because you are not building from scratch. You are remembering. Here is a compact checklist for the next 30 days. Daily, 10 minutes of silence, 1 page by hand, 1 90-minute lab, reachable windows, phone sleeps elsewhere. Weekly, funeral for one task that does not deserve oxygen, one offering you would keep if unseen, 1 hour with your witness to review the 3 lines. Monthly, 48-hour enclosure with reduced inputs and expanded breath. Rewrite your 3 lines, adjust your edge rules. You will know the rite is working when ordinary moments feel less expensive, when your language shortens and sharpens, when "I don't know yet" becomes an honest bridge instead of a shame, when your calendar looks emptier but your output feels heavier, when you sleep like a person, not an alarm.
Hyperproductivity breaks you by making your life a hallway with no door. Campbell's wisdom gives you a handle. The door is not locked. It opens when you stop proving and start passing. The rite is not a reward for finishing everything. The rite is how you learn to finish what matters without finishing yourself. So, tonight, choose the sentence that ends the old role. Place the symbol where your hand will find it before your eyes do. Tomorrow at dawn, cross your threshold, street, bridge, tree, and say your 3 lines softly. Then do the small vows that make a life. Protect 1 deep block. Honor 1 honest no. Give 1 focused yes. And return to 1 person who matters with your attention intact. You are not behind. You are at the door. Cross, not to disappear, but to come back carrying breath in your work and kindness in your pace. Presence is the quiet revolution. Boundaries are how it survives. Craft is how it serves. This is your rite. Keep it simple. Keep it human. Keep it.